Hey all you cyberpunks and retro nerds out there, welcome to a new episode of Neon Trash. I'm your host, Tommy the Hammer. Today we're going to be traveling back in time to the year 2015 to discuss Terminator Genisys. Yeah, you know, when this movie first came out, I actually saw it in theaters with my buddy Dale, and back then, we thought it sucked, quite frankly, and to be perfectly honest. I remember the overall movie being a mixed bag, and, you know, there's a lot of bullshit going on in this fifth movie. But you know what? I'm anxious to check it out again, so why don't you guys peep the trailer real quick. When we get back, we're going to be discussing Terminator Genisys.
I look at each of you, and I see the marks of this long and terrible war. If we die tonight, mankind dies with us. The machine sent a Terminator back to the time before the war to kill my mother, Sarah Connor. Let me save her.
I'd love to change the world.
The time you're going back to should be scared and weak.
Take care of her for me, Kyle.
Come with me if you want to live.
It's all wrong. John sent me here to save you.
From the Terminator that was sent back to kill me, but we already took care of him.
We?
I've been waiting for you.
Everything's changed.
We can stop Judgment Day from happening.
Where is he?
I'll be back.
What?
The back of the DVD case has a quote on it that says, "You are going to love this movie. James Cameron." Yeah, he actually said that. And recently I read online that the only reason he was quoted saying that is because his friend Arnold Schwarzenegger is in the movie. And, you know, I can't blame the movie producers for wanting to put that prolific quote on the actual packaging of this movie. They kind of see it as, if James Cameron vouches for the movie, then you should definitely check it out. The big complaint I have with the movie is it feels like a rehash. It kind of cherry picks elements from the other Terminator films and, you know, uses it for itself. In a lot of ways, this movie feels like Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. There's a lot of unnecessary humor, and the overall visual aesthetic is kind of light and bright. There's not really any moody cinematography, and not once during the entire movie did I feel like I was at the edge of my seat, like with the original Terminator movie and T2 Judgment Day. That being said, guys, there are a few elements to Terminator Genisys that aren't entirely bad. For one thing, the movie does remind me of the old Dark Horse comic books I used to read back in the day when I was a teenager. For those of you that aren't familiar with Dark Horse comics, they were basically a comic book company that released things that were a little more off the beaten trail compared to DC and Marvel, and that's why I liked Dark Horse comics. They did a number of prolific issues with Aliens and Predator and Terminator and Judge Dredd, so this movie, Terminator Genisys, feels like one of those really weird, offbeat Dark Horse comic issues. If I had to give Terminator Genisys a star count, I could only award it a 5.5. And that's mainly because everything about this movie is a pale imitation of the first Terminator, the second Terminator, and the third Terminator, which was really bad for a number of reasons as well.